The first time Frederick James played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game was a memorable experience for him. The game was first available in a variety of arcades. The experience, which had characters who were capable of a wide variety of expressive talents and gameplay that was simple to understand, was what drew him in. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we will tell you how Shredder's Revenge captures the essence of classic TMNT arcade games. But before we start our video, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for all the latest updates. While talking on Zoom, Frederick James said, playing that game was mind-blowing since it was just like playing the cartoon, while a large array of classic games is displayed behind him in the background. It was very different from the Nintendo of that age, which was saying a lot considering how similar it was. In light of this, James' ideal project while working as a designer at the Montreal-based studio Tribute Games was to work on a contemporary adaptation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When questioned about being given responsibility for the project, he responded, "It was rather thrilling to learn about." It's currently possible to acquire Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, which was developed by various seasoned professionals in the industry. Dotemu is the business that published both the game and the cult classic TMNT game on the Game Boy Advance. Dotemu is also the developer team behind the great rebirth of Streets of Rage. In a similar spirit, the purpose of developing Shredder's Revenge was to take the elements of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video games that were the most popular and modify them so that they fit for a modern audience. It was a truly mind-blowing experience to play that game because it was quite similar to seeing a cartoon at the same time. James discovered that there were a few characteristics of those classic games that stood out to him, and he made it a point to highlight those aspects in Shredder's Revenge. The ease of access was the most important consideration that was made. Arcade games were still designed with the purpose of eating up as many quarters as possible. As a result, they were exceedingly tough. Nevertheless, compared to the majority of their contemporaries, arcade games were significantly easier to understand and play. In addition to this, he believes that pacing and level design of the first TMNT games were more comparable to those of an action game than they were to those of a conventional side-scrolling beat-em-up game. You have adversaries coming in various patterns, and it's all about getting rid of them as quickly as possible so that you don't get swarmed, he explains. We had great hopes that the game would provide gamers with the opportunity to experience something that was comparable to that. Despite the fact that the team kept to a consistent design approach, they were naturally able to make greater use of the modern technology. This was because they were more knowledgeable about those technologies. Shredder's Revenge is now playable on the PS4, Switch, Xbox, and Steam platform. In contrast to the 16-bit consoles and arcade cabinets that were available in the 1990s, this is a huge step forward in terms of technological development. The most important aspect is that it has kept its charmingly retro aesthetic. It has pixel visuals that are stunning as well as expressive, but it has a great deal of fun animations. The James described the activity as more of a dance. James is quoted as saying, "We like to say that we like to make you remember them, not the way that they were." The programmers, on the other hand, did not have the same restrictions placed on them in terms of how much content they could display on the screen. As a result, they did not need to resort to memory-saving practices such as recycling animations or character sprites. They were also able to incorporate completely modern aspects, such as a game that could be played online. Finding that sweet spot between modern and vintage was a challenging endeavor that required a great deal of research and experimentation to complete successfully. For the production team to acquire a better understanding of how the levels were laid out, they played through the majority of the classics, which included not only TMNT games but also other beat-em-ups, and dug up old copies of Nintendo Power. During this time, the examination turned out to be significantly difficult. Because of the epidemic, it was initially impossible for the test subjects to face off against one another in person during the competition. Even when they were able to, they found it difficult to follow the playthroughs due to the chaotic nature of the game's multiplayer mode, which allows for up to 6 players at once. James claims that even though nostalgia is undoubtedly a huge part of the experience, both for the classic games and the original animated series, Shredder's Revenge was meant to be accessible to new players as well. This is due to the fact that the game is based on the original video games as well as the animated series that came before it. There are no genuine location in the game where you need to know about, he explains. The previous games are not referenced at all. The games in their original form are completely irrelevant. There are without a doubt a great number of allusions and tributes tucked away here and there. To take part in the game, however, you will never be required to fulfill any preconditions. Alongside the recent uptick in demand for side-scrolling, beat-em-up video games comes to release of the Shredder's Revenge. In addition to the launch of the Shredder's Revenge later this year, a collection of 13 of the most iconic games from the franchise will also be made accessible. As a result, being a fan of the Turtles at this point is an incredibly exciting experience. And James has an idea as to why these games, which were once the most popular games in the arcade, are still so popular today. He explains it by saying that at first, it appears like you are simply punching buttons, but then you begin to realize that it's more like a dance. The trainer compared the activity to almost like dancing, due to the significant amount of emphasis placed on placement and rhythm. You can dance only for fun, or you can train to become a professional dancer and master of these impressive skills. Either way, dancing is a lot of fun. That's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed watching the video. Share your views in the comment section below. Also give a like to video and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching.